book haul in the city. Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. I do truly appreciate it. I can't believe it's already April 1st. It's been a long month. Here I am looking at some books that I got in the month of March, and it seems like some of these I got months ago. I guess I just picked a bad time to stop licking toads. That's all there is to it. But I've been in hen houses, outhouses, my houses, your houses, looking for books. And I bought some. I bought one at a bookstore. I bought some on eBay, some on Amazon. I've got them coming from here and there and left and right and hither. And here's some books that I haven't shown you that I picked up in the month of March 2023. And that's how we're going to do it. The first one I want to show you. I went just today, this morning. They're only open on Saturdays as far as I know. A bookstore called US 41 Books. Today I'm going to try out a bookstore near Mazarktown, Florida called US 41 Books. This bookstore's been here as long as I can remember, and it's had its ups and downs. I've gotten a few things here over the years. Hopefully I'll find something cool, something unexpected. RoboCop, I think I've already got that one. Creased cover. Pitch black. Looks almost okay. Wonder if it's the first print. Second print. Independence Day. Look at that spine. I think I've already got Batman and Robin. I think I've already got it. Terminator 2. I've got that one also. Yep. I think I can't remember if I ever said it or not, but once again, yes. And that's what allows us to guarantee our work. Yikes. A bookstore. This is a neat version of The Island of Dr. Moreau. It contains both the novel and I think the screenplay or novelization. It's got, I think it's a novel and the screenplay in both, and it's the 1970s version, so it's the most medium version of movies based on this book. I've already got one, and it's a lot better condition than this. It was pretty cool. I may have a hit. I've been watching these on eBay for a while to see if I could get one at a price I like, and I may have finded her. Let's see. What is that? Thumb dexterity, and it's the first print. It is Red Heat. Nice. And as you can see, this is a bookstore. But anyway, I don't want to say bad things about people, but I did find a book at US 41 Books, and I told you that this is one that I'd been looking for a while, and I was actually wrong. I was thinking about a different one. I was thinking about Raw Deal. Raw Deal's one that I've been looking for a little while. An Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that was novelized and made into a novelization, a book. So I'll talk a little bit briefly about novelizations. I collect novelizations of movies that I dig, and I grew up in the 80s, man, so I'm a action fan. Arnold, Stallone, Bruce Willis, Mel Gibson, all sorts of cool stuff going on back then that I still dig. But I wanted the novelization of Raw Deal, which is a movie that I didn't think was that great. In fact, I liked Red Heat a little bit better. Neither one of them were phenomenal, but Red Heat is a novelization. It's a book that's made based on the screenplay of a movie. And this is a novel by Robert Tyne based on a screenplay by Harry Kleiner and Walter Hill and Troy Kennedy Martin. But I thought this was a movie that could have been great, and as it was pretty good. But you're talking about Schwarzenegger, talking about Belushi, buddy cop, Cold War era, Russians, Americans, all that kind of stuff. It's got the ingredients to be great, and it was good, but I dig it still. I wanted the novelization, and I got it. This one's not as hard to find as Raw Deal, but I like it better. How's that sound? So that's all I got at US 41 Books. I found a lot of stuff that I would have bought if it wasn't all moldy, if it wasn't foxed all badly, if it didn't have pen writing price inside the flap, if it didn't have, if it wasn't a second print. There was a lot of those things, and I didn't end up getting much, but it's down the road for me, and I forgot to show you. This one is a first print. I know these novelizations, most of them aren't worth a ton of money, but as a collector, I prefer first print books. Can't explain why, I just do. All right, next up on my list is one that I'm excited about. I've been looking forward to getting, and I got this one on eBay. It is the Franklin Library signed leather-bound edition of, you ever hear of it? Slaughterhouse 5. That's a great book. Yeah, Slaughterhouse 5 is a classic. Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse 5. And this is the leather-bound Franklin Library edition. If you're familiar with Easton Press, Franklin Library is very similar in many ways. In some ways, perhaps equal to or greater than in quality. And they've got a variety. They've got quite a span of quality, and I think that's one of the issues. Some folks will look at a Franklin Library book and it'll be fake leather or cloth bound or quarter leather or stuff like that, and they just think, oh, they're all cheaper versions. But they had some very, very nice leather bound books, very reminiscent of what you used to see from Easton Press, and probably better than what you see from Easton Press now. But this is a signed edition. There is the signature, and it's under this little protective cloth there. Kurt Vonnegut's signature. And there's a signature page either before or after that tells that this is a signed edition of the book. So instead of having it signed on the signature page, they would have the next page there telling you all about it. So this limited edition of Slaughterhouse 5, or The Children's Crusade by Kurt Vonnegut, has been privately printed and individually signed by the author. But very nice books. You do have some of the original illustrations in there. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think all of this stuff was original to earlier printings of the book. And if I'm wrong, it ain't the first time. I'm wrong all the time, but if I'm wrong, let me know. Maybe I am wrong in this case. I don't remember all of these illustrations from the edition that I read, and there are quite a few in here. So it looks like it's a signed and illustrated edition of Slaughterhouse 5. So great pickup, a little bit of bonus on that end, stuff I wasn't expecting when I purchased this book. I'm going back to front. Sometimes you just got to go back to the front. Look at here. Nice. Extra stuff, man. So I'm even happier with this book now than I was before I picked it up and started talking to you about it. And it is, in fact, illustrated by Alan E. Kober, a limited edition. And so here's our title page and where it talks about that. It's a nice edition, man. There's 2-color printing on some of these pages. Some of these pages I saw red and black. Just great stuff. I'm glad to have it. A great book and all that kind of stuff. And it did come with notes from the editors. And this is a little sort of a pamphlet, chapbook sort of a thing, signed limited editions from the Franklin Library. It not only talks about Kurt Vonnegut, but it talks about Slaughterhouse 5, the story, some of how they correlate to his experiences and the book's stuff and all that kind of stuff. So a very cool addition to the edition. Just neat stuff. Neat stuff indeed. So I recommend going out and getting you a copy of this if you can find one at a price that you can tolerate. Next up on the list, I'm a big fan, and one of my very favorite authors on God's Green Earth is Lawrence Block. And this, he's got several series that I love. Bernie Roddenberry, Matthew Scudder, he's got C.J. Keller, he's got the Thief Who Couldn't Sleep, what is his name? Anyway, lots of stuff to keep in here, lots of things going on inside the Terrific's head. Anyway, this one, Cinderella Sims, is a standalone that I have not read, but it was published, as you can see, by Subterranean Press in a limited edition form with a slipcase. They used to do these. They don't do them that often anymore, Subterranean Press, but they used to do them. And here is the dust jacket for Cinderella Sims. And I'm a big fan of the Lawrence Block, so pretty much anything I can get my grubby little mitts on that is his, if it's signed, especially if it's limited, I'm in. But here's our dust jacket from Cinderella Sims, all stretched out. Boss man got me all stretched out. Looks good. And we got a cloth bound book, very plain on the boards, and there's our spine. It's embossed slightly, so where you see that foil stamping, it is embossed. And plain old end papers. This is copy number 150 of 175 copies, signed in person by the great Lawrence Block. And Lawrence Block, like I said, one of my very favorite authors, a guy who's been writing books far longer than I've been alive. I think before my dad was even born. Lawrence Block, I'm pretty sure, is in his 90s right now, and he's still pumping them out. Every now he keeps saying, year after year after year, I've retired, I'm not writing anything else. By the way, here's another book for you. So as long as he's putting them out, I'm picking them up, and glad to. Now, this kind of ties in a little bit to Lawrence Block, because Lawrence Block has quite a few of the hard case crime books, but this is one by Max Allan Collins, and I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but I saw this one up for sale, the very first book in the Quarry series, and just something about it called my name. I'm not sure what it was, but when I saw this cover, there was, I just had to mash them buttons. I just had to. I've never read Max Allan Collins' Quarry series, but there's a bunch of books in that series, and I'm looking forward to jumping right in. It does look good, indeed. But that's, I think this one was an Amazon purchase, and it was $8 or $9, and the hard case crime books are great. A great set and a great series, and I'm looking forward to Quarry, and that's all I can say about that. Next up, sometimes you just buy books for no reason, but this time I bought a book for a good reason. It is Centipede Press, and it is Alan Dean Foster, and it's Dark Star. I missed out on this book when the first day it was up for sale. I got a link, an email in the email box from Centipede Press talking about this book, and I tried my best to buy it, but the link in my email was dead. I couldn't order the book. And by the time I figured it out, it was sold out pretty quickly. And for years, hasn't been that many years, but for several years, I've been whining and crying because I missed out. But I got one. I got one at a price that I could tolerate. And this is John Carpenter's very first film, and it's a novelization. I told you I collect novelizations, but usually I don't collect novelizations as nice as the stuff Centipede Press puts out. They make fine quality books. I've got this dust jacket wrapped in a Brodart Mylar protector now. It didn't come that way. I protected it when I got it, and I'll put it back just like it was here in a few minutes. But this is Centipede Press. Dark Star was John Carpenter's very first film. He made it, I think he made it before he was even a pro, made it in film school. It was eventually released. I saw it for the first time on DVD, and I didn't love it. But it is Carpenter, it is Alan Dean Foster, and it is Centipede Press, and I love movies, and I love books, and I love it when they cross paths, especially when Centipede Press or a publisher like them is involved. Look at the boards, it looks so good. That foil, two-color foil stamping. Their books are so nice. You take that dust jacket off, and it almost looks good enough for the shelf without it. There's our colored in papers. Just a little bit about this book. They will typically put some cool pictures, the old dust jacket illustrations and stuff like that in the front, but there's some cool artwork on the front of this piece. Let's see, soft cover illustrations, soft cover illustrations there. Typically you'll get that kind of stuff from Centipede Press, and it adds a lot of fun to what you're gonna get. And I just thumbing through, I found some additional stuff in here. It does look cool. More pictures. Let me go the right way this time, front to back. How's that sound? Just a little scene from the movie, and this one does have a built-in ribbon page marker, high quality Smithsonian binding like you would always expect from a Centipede Press book, and the signature page is in the back. Mine is number 228, signed in person by author Alan Dean Foster and artist Ben Baldwin, one of the greats, one of the all-time greats. And this one is number 228 of 300. And there's the back of the signature page. They typically will have some kind of cool artwork on the back of their signature pages. Centipede Press, did I say they make great stuff? I'm just a big fan of Centipede Press. So adding this one to the collection was nice. A nice pickup, a nice addition. Good one. Now I mentioned before that I'm a big fan of Lawrence Block. And one of his probably his most popular series is the Matthew Scudder series. There's a Liam Neeson film out there, A Walk Among the Tombstones, that's very good, that I really liked. And that's one of the middle or later installments in that one. But 8 Million Ways to Die is a hardcover from that series. It's just kind of hard to find. So I ordered one on eBay. I had one a while back, but right on the front here, it was signed by Lawrence Block, as well as some other fella who I'd never heard of wrote his name on the top. And I'm not a fan of that fella for writing his name there. But this one is signed on the title page like it ought to be, signed in person by Lawrence Block. And it is a first edition, first print. Let's take a look. The number line there goes all the way down to 1. So this one was filling a hole. That one wasn't a hole, but it had a name that didn't belong. So I got this one, and I don't know what I'll do with the other one, but I might just keep 2 copies. And last but not least, Brian James Freeman, owner of Lividian Publications, sent out an email talking about his story collection called Walking with Ghosts. And he said something about a price on Amazon that didn't seem right. So I went to Amazon, I mashed them buttons, and I pulled up Walking with Ghosts, and the hardcover version was $4 and something cents. And I said, oh, wow, and I bought. So I bought in, I got it a couple days later, and here it is. And by that time, when I went back and looked, it was $39.99. It was some kind of a mistake, but they sold some books at $4. This is a Lividian Publications trade edition of Brian James Freeman collection, Walking with Ghosts. But I think, and I can't guarantee it, this is different than most Lividian Publications books. I think this is print on demand, so I took the dust jacket off, and you got this library binding, this type of a laminate cover, I'm not sure what they call it, and you have a glued binding. It's not sewn, so it's not the typical stuff you get from Lividian publications these days, although it does have the LP logo on the bottom. But it is still, it's a hardcover book, a collection of Brian James Freeman's short stories. Let me pull up the table of contents here. It's a collection that's 350 pages or so. And there is our table of contents for there. Quite a few stories. So 350 pages, and there is the table of contents is 2 pages long. So that, doing some basic math in my head, they should be relatively short stories in here. And I'm looking forward to it. I hate to say, as much as I love Lividian publications, I haven't read Brian James Freeman. So this was a chance to jump in, to get my feet in, to get my toes wet on the author that owns a publishing company that is one of my very favorites. They haven't been around very long, but every single book that's come out of Lividian publications that I have has been impressive and swell. And so I'm glad to jump into Brian James Freeman, and even though it'll be short story form, but to see what he's got for me. I can think of no more lies to tell. Thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. C'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo.